Welcome to another edition of the Willy Bragg Show. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late today. I've been spending all day watching the first year anniversary of the Indie News Networks, and I work graveyard shift, so I slept through some of it too. So that explains why I didn't do a video stream earlier. And I normally do a video stream about this time. In fact, I'm usually wrapping it up. And that's going to be a very short stream today, very short stream, because I'm going to watch Extra Bull. Well, Uncle Warren, it starts at 12:30 tonight. So I got a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and make this a quick stream. But before it all gets started, let me just start by saying this to you all. Hit that like button. Hit that like button right now and subscribe to this channel and follow me on here on YouTube, on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter and on Facebook. And as I said, when you hit the like button, it helps with the algorithms. It helps with that shadow ban, that thing that tends to happen. So Indie News Network are at currently, and before I get started, I do need to check something about Indie News Network. They are under 1,000 subscribers, the network itself, and KRTD Media were able to get up to 1,000 subscribers the other day, which helps with monetizing and you know, it helps them to kind of get their foot in the ground and, you know, and hitting that first 1,000. Hitting that first 1,000 is part of what needs to be done. So hold on a second. Indy, let me see where they're. I'm just going to check where their last count is right now, because we need to know. 840. So I'm going to put down the link. So if you haven't subscribed to the Indie News Network, please do so. They have great programs, a lot of good people, great personalities that I've been knowing for the past, actually the last couple of months. I pretty much like everybody that I've been associated with in the last few months in my correspondence with them. So anyway, let's get started at the subject at hand. Donald Trump. After the January 6th insurrection, Donald Trump had his Twitter account removed. And the problem was this. Donald Trump, I don't like Donald Trump as president. I think he's bad news, but I don't think his Twitter account should have been taken away from him. It's just something I don't believe in as a First Amendment absolutist. I no matter how much I may disagree or despise somebody else's point of view, they should not have their account, especially a political figure, should not have their accounts taken away from them. It's just that I just think that was a little bit on the petty side, and it made him look like a victim. And I have a problem with some of the more virtue signaling factions, well-meaning as they are, on the left. Whether we're talking about the shit libs, corporate centrists, or we're talking about the real left, the ones that do engage with the virtue signaling and do mean well in large measure, but sometimes this sort of thing can backfire, and censorship ends up backfiring against the left. I have made this very clear over and over again. Is part of what I believe in. One of the first things I've ever believed in, that as a leftist, was my fervent belief in free speech, and so that's one thing I do love about the Indie News Network. That unlike many folks from the Young Turks and other folks that, you know, the Majority Report and people like that, they are kind of okay with cancel culture. Well, maybe there's some people on the Young Turks are probably okay with free speech, but there's good many of them that they're very cancel culture friendly. But I really hardly ever heard anyone. The only person I've ever heard for free speech on Majority Report, affiliated with Majority Report, would be Ben Burgess. I know he tends to be for free speech. I know Ben Burgess from the Socialist Party USA when he was in the Socialist Party. He and I were in the Socialist Party USA, and we known each other there. So so there's that, and he knows I do this, and I know he's, you know, he knows, and I know he's done well for himself, and you know, I'm okay with Ben Burgess. But you know, the other folks on the Majority Report, especially the Miki Council, all those folks, no. I don't. The cancel culture, I don't agree with. You know, Shank and Anna from Young Turks, sometimes they put up a good game about free speech, but then they kind of waffle and backtrack on it and everything. But when it comes to some of the others from the online left, Jimmy Dore has been good on free speech issues. He's been actually great on free speech issues. And you know, just Combo Couch has been great on free speech issues. I've always been pleased with their takes on free speech issues. You know, a little more on the mainstream side, but I've always been pleased with her position on free speech issues, and that's a shoe on head. I always have to put out a positive word on her. Good on the issue of free speech. So there, and as I said, I mean, just you got to go and support it. It's basically it. There's no debate about it, because if you don't have free speech, you're not going to have a foot to stand on when you need your speech as your friend. And as Warren's program starts in a little while, I was watching one of his earliest episodes with Comrade Misty, who was the one to set up the Putin event. Comrade Putin's buddy's her name. Anyway, the Assange event. The Assange event. That's what I meant to say. She's been a free speech advocate, and that's what she's all about. And she basically made the same claim that if you don't have free speech on your side, you know, those of us, and I'm kind of paraphrasing her, those of us who do support those of us on the left, we're not going to be able to get what we need done if we don't have free speech on our sides, because we need our speech to get our stuff done. And that's what it comes down to. So right now, Donald Trump is back on Twitter. I'm not going to follow him because I don't support Donald Trump. But just because I don't support Donald Trump doesn't mean that I want to stop somebody who's a Trump simp, or even a curious person who's critical of Trump from following him. So and so that's fine. So you know, I mean, he, as I said, he will provide some comedy relief. Let me do this. There we go. He will provide comedy relief, and it's the only thing that Elon Musk have done, taking over Twitter, that's been profound, that I'm okay with. And there's going to be, you know, some people, some lefties, some liberal lefties, they're going to hear me say this and have a problem with what I got to say. So, and that's fine. I mean, you know, if they're going to hate me, they're going to hate me for this. I'm free speech is the hill I die on, baby. That's just how it is. Is the hill I die on. Just because I support the free speech of people out there does not mean that I endorse what they have to say. See, I had a debate, not a debate. I had a little disagreement with a libertarian on my one of my Facebook pages my regular Facebook page that I use now. Somebody I knew in college, and he told me that he would not sign a petition for ballot access for, let's say, the Green Party, or let's say, some left-wing party, some party that we used to name socialist in its name, or communist in its name, or something like that, or a political party that he knows has a left-wing orientation. He would never, ever sign to get them on the ballot, not because he disagreed with their free speech to be on the ballot, but he said that signing to get their name on the ballot is an endorsement. And I told him, it's great to know that I'm the one that's for free speech, because if the Constitutionalist Party, a right-wing political party, came up to me on the street, asked for my signature for them to get on the ballot, and these are people who are this is like the Constitution Party is a political party that's kind of like a political party made for people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, the Republican Party is mostly the party of Marjorie Taylor Greene in many ways, but there are normies in there in the Republican Party, like your Mitt Romneys out there. But the Constitutional Party is basically like a party made for Lauren Boeberts and Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greenes and Paul Gosars, that type. And if those motherfuckers came up to me, asked me, hey, can I get your signature to get on the ballot? You know what I'll tell them? Hand me the pen. I'll get your name. I'll put my name down gladly to see you get on the ballot. And it's not because I want the Constitution Party to go and win seats in whatever political office they're seeking. It's because I am principled, and I believe that everybody should have a voice in this country. And what state governments have done around the country to suppress minor parties is a violation of the First Amendment. In my opinion, it is. And I'm correct, by the way. I don't know why the ACLU's have never taken that issue up as a free speech issue. Honestly, I don't know why, because it is a free speech issue to disallow independence or to make the hurdle for independents and third parties to get ballot access in ways where, hey, the two parties in charge makes the rules. And it's not like this in any other country that has multiple parties. Say what you will about Russia invading Ukraine. We can all be against that all day long. I am not for funding Ukraine. I am not for sanctifying Ukraine. But at the same time, I do have some criticisms of Russia. And anybody who thinks I'm pro-Putin, I'll say this. I support Pussy Riot. Okay, that's taken care of. Now, here's the thing about Russia. They actually got a more democratic electoral system than we do. Doesn't mean I want to be like Russia. It just means it is what it is. I mean, they got medical care for all. I mean, they got things that we don't have here. I mean, I don't necessarily want to live there. I'm just saying, well, I mean, there are countries I would rather live in than the United States, but the point, I mean, I wouldn't even mind visiting, basically what I'm saying is that I don't believe in making the country the boogeyman that it is. It's being made the boogeyman by the West, and it's most unfortunate. Ukraine is more authoritarian than Russia. I will say it again. And there's less free speech in Ukraine, more authoritarianism in Ukraine than there is in Russia. But getting back to Donald Trump, didn't support him in 2016, didn't support him in 2020, will not support him in 2024. He's a billionaire. I think all billionaires are assholes. So anybody who thinks that I secretly sent for Donald Trump, you're mistaken. If you remember me well, I was the obnoxious Bernie bro in 2016 and 2020, even though I'm recovering right now from being a Bernie bro. And I'm not particularly keen on him running in 2024, does not mean that I'm going to go run and embrace Donald Trump. Not at all. Not at all. I am probably more than likely will vote Green Party, but I will see what my options are. I am very much a strong independent as a general rule these days. More than likely, Green Party is where I'll vote in 2024. I am registered Green in North Carolina, but I urge each and every one of you to, reject the two-party system as much as possible. I did vote for Democratic judges in North Carolina because in the recent election, because I'm not going to go and vote for Republican judges because we'll get Christian Sharia from Republicans these days. That's what they got to offer us. They don't have labor law reforms. They don't have health care to offer to us. They don't have paid vacation time to offer to us. They have culture war bullshit for us. So don't need any of that. Not one bit. So do I think it's a great thing? Do I think Donald Trump is great? No. Do I think it's great that Donald Trump has his free speech restored? Yeah, free speech needs to be restored. And so objectively, yes, I think it's great that his free speech is restored. I need a laugh. He did provide a comedy show. And I'm going to enjoy watching the Twitter battles between Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump. For that reason, even if you're a partisan Democrat and you hate Ron DeSantis in the ballpark as much as you would hate Donald Trump, come on now, you got to admit Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis fighting. That would be pretty exciting. That would be really exciting to watch. So consider that. So let me do this here real quick. Okay. So that's what I have to say right now. Let me do this real fast for you. A couple little things I'm going to do right here. On the chat line, we have Kelly. Kelly M. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Willie, I got to admit, I have kind of missed Trump's shit posts, laughing out loud. That was the only thing I liked about his presidency. I was never mad at some of the shit he would say. It was so over the top. I just laughed. I just laughed. And Glenn Greenwald was correct when he said the reason why there was a slightly less antagonistic foreign policy during his administration was not because he was so great. It was more along the lines of, well, you have the resistance, shit-live opposition Democrats, you had the Trump people, and you had the never Trumpers all basically battling each other. There was a lot of chaos. And that chaos caused the United States to kind of do a slight pause on their foreign policy. And the United States doing a little bit less on foreign policy usually means better things. So in that regard. So there was a default, slightly more humble foreign policy as a result. By accident. Hot Retarded Chick says, hi, how are you doing? How are you doing today? I'm doing good. Let's see. Free speech Nazis. I'm remembering that scene from the Blues Brothers movie where they were like, and they had a traffic jam, and they asked the cop what's going on, and he was like, the fucking Nazis. And he was like, yeah, they won the case. And then they decided to go and try to run over this Nazi. I mentioned that to a coworker of mine at my previous job who claims to be a cinemaphile, and he is for the most part, but he was very contrarian and younger than me. So he said, I didn't know what I was talking about, but I do know what I'm talking about with these things. I said, that was reference to the Skokie, Illinois case of 1977, when Skokie, Illinois, the American Nazi Party was trying to go and march in Skokie, Illinois. And he says, no, it has no correlation. I'm like, the hell it didn't. I know about that case. I am a civil libertarian. I'm not a legal, like I'm not a lawyer, but I am a civil libertarian as far as my politics is concerned. And I do keep up with First Amendment cases. And that was one major First Amendment case there. You are correct, sir. Thank you. Let's see. Tulsi is green. I will hope she turns to the Green Party. Hopefully. Oh, by the way, you're from around the Chicago area, so you probably, I don't know, I have no idea how old you are, but you probably know about the Skokie, Illinois case from back then. So anyway, what I was going to say to you all is this is a couple of announcements, and one. Indie News Network celebrated their first year anniversary today. I love this network. I mean, they're a breath of fresh air. I really like the people from there. They're just, the programs are refreshing, and and a lot of them were involved with the Assange event. A lot of movers shakers within Indie News Network. So I just I feel like they get it in many areas where a lot of other left-wing outlets don't. So I do urge each and every one of you to check them out. I will put down their link, and hold on a second here. I will show you their thing here. Hold on a second. Here it is, Indie News Network, and you get to hear Indie Left. And you get to hear, Reefer Breland. You get to hear Comrade Misty Wisdom. You get to hear, Joe Shut the Fuck Up Shitlib, who's hilarious with his videos. Extra Booyah, hosted by Warren Dearman, who I am going to be on his program on Monday, by the way, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please come on his show and say hi. I'm going to leave the links down. So, and other programs, Blue Moon Red Wine, Lucy, she's awesome, great person to talk to about local politics. She did a last minute write-in campaign against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the district in the 14th congressional district in the Bronx, and she heckled Joe Biden recently, about the foreign policy and student debt relief and public housing, and she's quite an impressive activist. Let's see here. One more little thing on the. I wonder what crazy name Trump called DeSantis. He's already called him the sanctimonious. Oh, he'll think of something. It'll be interesting. So anyway, there is that. Hold on a second here. Let me get you on Extra Bullet real quick. Extra Booyah. And let's see. I think Warren said that it's Latin for outside the bubble, and it's still political, but it's more comedy based. And he co-hosts the program usually with Jimmy Sunderland, who hosts a morning show in California called What on KRTD Media. And I will also put down her link. And KRTD Media just happened to have over 1,000 subscribers. So, and give everybody here a sub and all of that. And what I think I'm going to do is, when I'm doing the editing after this video, while watching Extra Booyah tonight, we will go and I'll go down and put down the links of all the programs affiliated with INN, and all of that. So anyway, if you happen to like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree with what I have to say, comment anyway. We will have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and remember to always reject corporate media because they have nothing to offer. Always get a second opinion. Get 300 opinions if you can. That's much better than what you get with the slop that pass for mainstream corporate media, whether they're shit libs or MAGA right wingers or neocon types or what have you. So until next time, we'll leave you all with some music, and if any of you come on to the Warren's program in a few minutes, I will say hi to y'all there too. Take care. Music. Good night.